Hey, this is Tiqqle, and in this video we're going over the brand new changes in the alpha for Shaman. Tons of changes have come up for the latest build, including enhanced total changes happening to their talents and their abilities, removing a lot. And then Ellie, which is kind of a reorganization of single target and multi-target damage. So we're going to go through those here in this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is a very hype time. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, first things first, we're going to be going over Enhance. Enhance has had the most changes, I would say, of any class in the game going into Shadowlands. It's just incredibly different. They've removed abilities, they've added abilities. I have my original video, which is up on my channel. I'll put the link below, but a lot of things have changed since then, specifically with Shaman pretty much overall. And we'll kind of review those things now. They're in the patch notes. I'll put them down in the description below. But to be frank, there's some things that I didn't even see there. So with that being said, let's just jump into it. Number one, they removed Rockbiter. A lot of people have been saying that Rockbiter doesn't have a purpose anymore because, as you remember, we don't have a Maelstrom bar anymore. So with no Maelstrom bar, there's nothing to generate with Rockbiter. It was kind of a silly ability. That ability really was just a ranged melee attack doing a light amount of damage. It didn't really do much more than that. So that being removed is a good and bad thing. It's good because it gets rid of a kind of fruitless ability. But at the same time, we don't have as many globals to use. So what do you use instead? And that's where Blizzard has really changed the rotation of Shaman, especially Enhanced Shaman, because of that. Because you don't have those extra globals, you have to figure out what to put in there. And it seems like we're going to be using our shocks much more than we've ever used before. Well, I shouldn't say ever in Legion, ever used in Legion or in BFA. The class design seems to be shifting back to being some melee abilities, some ranged abilities, and a lot of shocks, which are obviously ranged abilities. But so that is one really big change. That removal of Rockbiter. That is something that people have been suggesting for some time. So that's ever since Alpha came out, because there now are so many additional buttons like Healing Stream Totem. They actually, we'll get to the next one that they've removed, but like even I have Stormkeeper now. There's a lot of other abilities. You're gonna have your Covenant abilities. So you're gonna have Wind Fury Totem, which is back in the game. You're gonna have a lot of different things. Now, the next big change that they made across pretty much all the Shaman specs, because as you remember, there's this Shaman tab of all your abilities. They got rid of Searing Totem. Now, people are going to be a little bit mixed on this. Why? Because people wanted to, people appreciated the fact they had Searing Totem because they had lost it in the past. But in reality, it didn't do anything special. It didn't do anything interesting. It just shot a little fireball. And if you want to see that, make sure to go to the videos that we have up from Shaman. It's just not that, it wasn't that good. So they've removed it from the game. And you know what? I'm okay with it if they're not going to do something more interesting than they had like currently in the game. You know what I mean? So that being said, well, let's move on. And then for the abilities, the actual cooldown of these abilities is pretty, they've lowered them a little bit. So we have Storm Strike at 6.5 seconds, Lava Lash at 10 seconds, and we also have Crash Lightning. Now, those are our three melee abilities. That and melee that's it. That's all we got. So the other ranged abilities that you're going to be using is Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and then you also have Frost, your Shock. So you have Flame Shock, which is brand new in Shadowlands, and you have Frost Shock. Frost Shock actually doing a lot of damage. There's some builds we'll go over in this video or another one that make Frost Shock actually AoE and do a lot of damage. But there's, oh my god, there's so much to talk about. It's unreal. We did this on stream, and it was just so much to explore. But anyway, with that being said, let's keep moving. Now, one of the biggest changes that they did make as well was they changed Feral Spirits. Feral Spirits, this was an ability we were very excited about this change because they've changed it. In BFA, in Legion, this was all about Maelstrom Generation. Maelstrom Generation is gone. What we do have instead, and I'll just touch on it one more time, is Maelstrom Weapon. If you guys don't know what this is, we'll just kind of read through it. When you deal damage with a melee weapon, you have a chance to gain a Maelstrom Weapon. Stacking up to 10 times. Each stack of Maelstrom Weapon reduces the cast time of your next damaging or healing spell by 20%, and increases the damage or healing of your next spell by 20%. That last part was added in this iteration of Shadowlands, increasing damage by 20%. That's pretty nice. And the change of Maelstrom Weapon to go to 10 stacks is extremely helpful from a tankiness perspective. I shouldn't necessarily say tankiness, but from a self-healing. This means I can now cast 2 surge of healing surges instead of 1 in PvP situation if I get to that 10 stacks. Or maybe I can do one heal, 1 lightning bolt, something along those lines. So that's something else that is kind of allowing Enhance to be a little bit more viable in PvP and PvE. Is it the biggest change? No, but it is a very big quality of life change, especially because of some of the talent changes that we haven't even gotten to yet. But anyway, back to Feral Spirits. This is beautiful. They've changed it, so it's not just Maelstrom. It's just giving you the Maelstrom weapon procs. It says Feral, it basically summons 2 wolves and they attack for you. Feral Spirit generate 1 stack of Maelstrom weapon immediately, and 1 every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. That is every 3 seconds. That is, they're basically going to proc 5 times over that. So you're going to get a 6 total Maelstrom weapons out of this. So that means you're going to get an instant cast, which is great. Now, I do hope Blizzard still listens to the community and they add some type of self-healing through the wolves as well. I hope that this damage also will heal you. I'm hoping that they include some new PvP traits talents over here, but they haven't done that yet. We're hoping they do, like Shamanistic Rage and all the things we already know and love, right? But that's that. So that's another very big change in terms of just base enhanced Shaman. The other thing that they've changed, and I went in the alpha for a long time before someone in the chat told me this. The enhanced shaman now have chain lightning because all shamans have chain lightning. And as an enhanced shaman, it does something different. It does something a little bit special. Hurl a lightning bolt at the target, dealing 100 damage, and then jumping to additional nearby enemies, affecting 3 total targets. Each target hit by chain lightning increases the damage of your next crash lightning by 20%, meaning up to plus 60% damage. That is good, because we're going to be weaving ranged abilities and melee abilities, especially because we don't have filler melee abilities anymore. So that's actually pretty cool. And think about AoE. AoE, this is a 3 target, which is not 5, which is where Ellie has their chain lightning. But this is going to increase your crash lightning. And crash lightning is pretty legit. It's by far the best looking ability in the game. I can use it like this. I don't know why, but if you don't know what crash lightning is, I'll explain it really quick. Electrocute all enemies in front of you, dealing 155 nature damage, hitting 2 or more targets, enhances the weapon for 10 seconds, causing your Storm Strike and Lava Lash to also deal additional damage to all targets in front of you. Hello? That's very good. Each hit with your crash lightning increases the damage of your Storm Strike by 5%. So if you got a big pack, you can use chain lightning. Then you can use crash, so that's going to hit 3 targets. You can use crash lightning, which is going to hit, it doesn't actually say that if there's a cap. All targets in front of you, so you're going to hopefully hit all the targets. And then that's going to give you a buff of your next Storm Strike, which is going to do more damage in front of you. So it's this kind of rotational chain that is actually pretty nice. And it's similar right now in BFA. I've been playing Enhanced Shaman and Mythic Pluses mainly. It is a lot of fun, and I think it's just going to become better. But it's going to be much, much different in Shadowlands. So that's that change. That is one that, definitely interesting, especially when we get to the Frost Shot Cleave. We'll go over that as well. Now, the next change is to Wind Fury. Wind Fury, a lot of people are saying that, hey, Wind Fury, I drop it, and then I run 12 feet, and I have to redrop it again. I run 12 feet, I got to redrop it again. Well, guess what? They've increased the range to 30 yards. 30 yards is actually pretty far. It's like this far. That's pretty far. Truthfully, that's pretty good, and I appreciate them doing that. The only other thing that I noticed is that it's still 2 minutes, which is also a very long totem, and it costs minimal mana. So that's also appreciated. We are all excited to see Wind Fury. The other thing I will mention is that it was told to me in the chat in the Twitch stream that Wind Fury totem affects raid wide, not party wide, even though the tooltip does say party members within 30 yards. But I'm so happy this totem is back. This is a huge win for Enhanced Shamans. This is really the core of an Enhanced Shaman, truthfully, is one, the utility of a Wind Fury totem for your fam, and then the next I'll get into right now. The next is, other than this Wind Fury totem, is your weapon imbues. Now, guys, we were messing around in the alpha before about weapon imbues. Now, maybe you're new to this. I'll explain quickly what weapon imbues are. Weapon imbues, these are buffs you can add, and they enchant your weapons with a specific shaman effect. Now, you'll also be able to enchant your weapon with an enchant, whatever, but these are things like, for example, Flame Tongue Weapon. Imbue your weapon with the element of fire for 1 hour, causing each attack to deal an additional 14 damage. That's it. The other one is Wind Fury Weapon. This is a big one they're bringing back, and I appreciate them for doing this. Imbue your weapon with the element of wind. Each hit has 26% chance to trigger 2 extra attacks, dealing 63 physical damage each. Very awesome. This is why I like Enhanced Shaman. This is why I played one in Classic. This is the play. Now, what they did do and what they did change, if I press this button, usually I would be able to press this and I would have to select which weapon I want to enchant. They removed that. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So that's gone. So now I basically press this, and it gets applied to my main hand. That's it. I press Flame Tongue. It gets applied to my offhand. They are kind of assuming that's the order you want to have. Now, we did find out on the stream, if I switch these, now my Flame Tongue weapon is in my main hand. My Wind Fury is in my offhand. If I go ahead and press Wind Fury weapon again, it enchants this one as Wind Fury. So I can technically still get 2 Wind Furies, but we're kind of cheating the system. And Blizzard may or may not fix this, but we were definitely messing around with the fact that we could have multiple Wind Fury enchants on our weapons, and we were getting up to 8 to 10 procs of Wind Fury, and it was just a lot of fun, and we were messing around with it. Those VODs are on Twitch somewhere, but anyway, so that's that. So, but what... This basically tells you Blizzard wants you to have Wind Fury in your main hand and Flame Tongue in your offhand. And why do they want that? That has to do with one of the abilities in here, Hot Hand, as well as just Lava Lash. Lava Lash charges damage is increased by 100% if your offhand weapon is imbued with Flame Tongue weapon. So they kind of want you to be that way. Also, Hot Hand is dependent on melee auto attacks with Flame Tongue weapon being activated to proc. So with that being said, that's that. So those are some changes there, but... it is kind of nice that it is 1 hour. People were complaining. Applying these things would be annoying. So, okay, that's fair. Whatever. Now, the other thing that they did, which I'm very happy about from a defensive standpoint for Enhanced Shamans, is Lightning Shield. They changed Lightning Shield. Lightning Shield now has a 50% chance to grant you a stack of Maelstrom weapon when it deals damage to an enemy. When does it do damage to an enemy? Well, if you read it, melee attackers have a 100% chance to suffer 30 nature damage and have 50% chance to generate a stack of Maelstrom weapon. Only one elemental shield can be applied at a time, meaning you can only have Earth Shield, my own Earth Shield, or my own Lightning Shield. But this is huge. Giving me that Maelstrom stack is going to be great if I'm getting trained by melee. It means I can be able to get either more casts off from a damage perspective or more heals off from a healing perspective. Now, the only thing I'll note, again, I thought this was not going to be the case, but I cannot use Hex because it is not a heal or a damaging ability. It's CC, so I can't instant cast that. Now, the other thing that they did change, and it is significant to note, is that the shocks now are affected by haste. Frost Shock and Flame Shock, you can tell because of those green text in that tooltip. Now, that is actually significant because Enhanced Shamans usually stack haste a lot because they want to get that Wind Fury proc as much as possible. But they weren't previously affected by haste. So this is actually a pretty big change, especially because that's going to be a filler. Haste is going to be significant for Enhanced Shamans now for Wind Fury procs, but also for just doing damage and getting your cooldowns down. Almost like, I feel like a Ret Paladin. But let me know in the comments what you think of these changes so far, guys. I would really love to know what you guys think. It's great having conversations with you guys either on stream or in the comments. Definitely appreciate that. Now, a few other things. So those are the abilities that have changed. There are things that are brand new, like Healing Stream Totem. There are things like Chain Heal that I'll be able to do as an Enhanced Shaman. Instant cast that with my Maelstrom weapon. Huge excitement there. Enhance, again, that's everything that we know and everything that we love. They brought back a lot of stuff, and I think they're really, Enhanced Shaman are shaping up pretty nicely. Now, these changes are further push to the edge, and we're going to get to killing some mobs here soon, friends, but I just want to get through these changes, and there are so many. We actually did the dungeon too, and it was a lot of fun, but we didn't win. Anyway, so let's go ahead through. I'm going to go through the talents that have changed only. Okay, so there's some really interesting ones too that are brand new and could change the game for Enhanced Shaman. Number 1, Lashing Flames. This is Lava Lash now increases the damage of Flame Shock on a target by 100% for 12 seconds. This is basically increasing the damage when it ticks. So I will actually switch to that so you can see what that looks like here in a second. But again, that means that when I Lava Lash a target with Flame Shock, it's going to make that Flame Shock do double damage, basically. That's pretty cool because our shocks, again, are going to be a huge part of our rotation. Next, Storm Fury is a new one. Now, why are these two new? Well, they had to remove the ones that were related to Rockbiter, which is actually good for us because they were pretty stale because of Rockbiter not really doing anything. It does mean that we did lose Boulder Fist and we did lose Landslide. Landslide here was increasing the damage of your next Storm Strike by 100% by an RNG chance. I appreciate them removing that. If you think about these two talents, these are much more definite abilities. Instead of fishing for procs, we're now just, we'll read through this one, but you're now just getting whatever the talent says. I think Blizzard is doing their best. Well, I don't know about the best, but they're doing an effort to push people away from things that say a chance to do this, a chance to do that. They're doing it in a sense that is a very meaningful way that you're going to press a button and you know what it's going to do. So with that being said, let's go keep moving. Next one is Storm Fury, brand new. Each time Wind Fury weapon activates, the cooldown of Storm Strike is reduced by 1 second. Are you kidding me right now? Storm Strike has a cooldown of 6. My Wind Fury is going to proc all the time. You'll see how it works when we get in here, but yeah, that's actually really cool, especially for high haste, and potentially even high mastery, because our masteries increases your chance to trigger Stormbringer and Wind Fury by 1.5% and increases all of our nature damage, right? Or all our nature frost fire, and that is actually going to be important now because, like I said, you're going to be shocking. Your shocks are definitely elemental, frost, fire, nature. We're going to be using all the elements now, not just our pumper fists. So let's keep moving. The other thing they changed, and people actually were really confused on stream about this, was Totem Mastery. This used to drop 4 totems. Each totem would have a special effect. This is now a 1-minute cooldown. Drops a Searing Totem, Healing Stream Totem, and Earthbind Totem at my current location. I don't understand. I don't understand why they removed Searing Totem from the game. So unless it all of a sudden becomes a big baddie, and it doesn't, I'll show it to you what it looks like. It's actually pretty lackluster, truthfully. There it is. There they are. We have a slow, a heal, and this. I can also pop a second Healing Stream Totem so I can get double healing going on, which is actually pretty good from a defensive perspective. So I could see this as a defensive play, but a 1-minute cooldown for 15 seconds, not that good. Not that good. So little resident sleeper on that one. A little sad. Oh my goodness. All right, so we'll take these boys out to Pound Town. Bring out the wolves. Frost Shock because I need a filler. And we're still not done with the talents yet, but we're getting there. So like here, I'm like trying to figure out what button to press because it's so much different. Shocks to fill. Shocking is doing so much damage. I actually think Frost Shock is overtuned at this point, but yeah, let's go ahead and we'll switch that back. Oh, we have to wait a minute. That's fine. Actually, right. Okay. All right. So that's a pretty big change. That's a pretty fun one too. Though the Totem Mastery does not look that fun. Now this entire tier has changed. Cycle of Elements. It's still the same as it was before. They just renamed it. Storm Strike now resets the cooldown of your shock spells, meaning you could either do Flame Shock or Frost Shock. Now, to be honest with you, spreading Flame Shock seems like it could be a good idea, and maybe it is, especially in Arena. If you have 3 people, you want to put those Flame Shocks on everyone. But Frost Shock is insane. It does a lot of damage for Enhance. I don't know what happened, but it does a lot. That's that, though. That's all that does. So Storm Strike, every time you use it, will reset the shock cooldown, which is okay, but not the best. Hailstorm is a pretty insane ability. We'll use that. But also for Fire Nova is also insane. We're going to be switching those over right now. We'll go through these, though. Hailstorm now is each stack of Maelstrom weapon consumed, up to 5, by the way, increases the damage of your next Frost Shock by 75% and causes your next Frost Shock to hit 1 additional target per Maelstrom weapon consumed. Meaning, if I consume 5, it's going to hit 6 targets, and increasing it by a lot. Hitting those 6 targets with a lot of Frost Shock damage. We will test that out very soon. It is very impressive. We actually think that it is overtuned. But anyway, Fire Nova. Actually, we'll go back to Storm. Erupt. This is the next one. People are excited about this. I am excited about this one. It is glorious. Erupt a burst of fiery damage from all targets affected by your Flame Shock and dealing 200 damage up to 6 targets within 8 yards of your Flame Shocked target. I will show you what this looks like right now. It is too hard. It's too beautiful to wait on. It looks so good, dude. It looks so good. We'll keep using it here. But it basically allows me to put up to like 3 Flame Shocks on targets. And then I can go ahead and pop that. And it does up 200 damage in a big AoE circle. And if I put multiple Flame Shocks out, you'll be able to see multiple procs of it. So let's go ahead and try that out here. There's one. We'll go ahead and run over here. If I had more haste, it would be better. And we're going to go ahead and pop it. Ready? Ooh, it's so pretty, dude. That is such a cool ability. I'm so glad. They're really helping some of the AoE of Enhance. Now, does Enhance really need it? I mean, I don't know. We already have Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning. We have a lot, but this is just adding to the arsenal of Enhanced Shaman. I do appreciate it from Blizzard. So that's Fire Nova. We'll go ahead and I'll show you Hailstorm. It's going to be a little bit harder to test, not in a dungeon, but we'll make it happen. It's just a lot of fun. And I would say we're almost to the point where this feels quite smooth. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. I just don't have free globals anymore. There aren't multiple things that I want to press per global. There's a right order, and they're almost kind of lining up kind of nicely. So if I Storm Strike, Lava Lash, I have a proc, I'll heal myself. I have another Storm Strike, Frost Shock, and I'm almost out of buttons. I have Crash Lightning next I could use, but if you see, like, everything else is on cooldown. So it's actually I would say it's a relatively good place to be. I do think that it would be good to have extra abilities just so I have to make those choices. But but that's okay. Let's do one more thing, guys. Let's go ahead and get a big pack now that I have these mobs. We're going to go ahead and use the kind of the burst rotation for this, right? We're going to be using the cleave of the Frost Shock. We'll hopefully be able to show the Frost Shock power here. We're at 2 stacks. We need to get up to a total of 5 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon. There we go. All right, so we're going to go. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning, and then we're going to use Frost Shock. Actually, I just Frost Shocked right away because I thought I was going to die. And you can see that did huge damage. That's huge cleave potential. I didn't even use Crash. And this still... Yep. This is going to do a lot of damage. Almost killed that mob. It does a lot of damage, and these Storm Strikes are pumping as well. So, not bad. Let's do that one more time because I think that's actually a really good combo to show is the Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning, and then Frost Shock. Let's go ahead and do it. We'll grab 3 mobs if we can. Again, remember, Chain Lightning maxes out at 3, so we might as well do it at that point. This is up. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We need to get those procs going of our Maelstrom Weapon so we get those instant cast abilities. Let's go. Get the boys out. We get up to 2. We're still at 2. Okay. I don't want to kill these mobs. Being very careful. All right, 5. Now I use Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning, and then I use Frost Shock. Not bad. And then I use Storm Strike to finish them off because it's cleaving in front of me and doing that extra damage because of the Crash Lightning. Not shabby. Not freaking shabby. This is really nice, actually. This hailstorm is really people are saying is overtuned right now. You know what it is though. We'll see if they if they change the tuning or not, but all right, but with that being said, guys, that's about it. I wanted to walk through the enhance. I was going to walk through Ellie in the same video, but this video has gone on for kind of a long time. So we'll call it, and we'll do another video. Check the description for the Elemental Shaman one. That is a little bit different. But I want to just say thank you so much for the support. Thanks so much for hanging out in the events we're doing on stream. We have a stream every single day, Monday through Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to see you guys there. If you have any questions, come by the stream. We're going to be doing alpha streams whenever you guys want, probably once or like twice a week, just going through any of the changes that are being announced and the new zones and dungeons and anything like that. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. If there's anything else you think I might have missed, because there are so many changes, it's insane for Enhanced Shaman. And then I personally am going to be playing Enhanced Shaman as a main in Shadowlands. Probably not a Volpira, but I thought it was pretty funny to make it this time. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next video or on the stream. Take care, everybody. Farewell.